revitalizing the Overwatch 2 experience. The newest season of Overwatch 2 is just around the corner, and with it comes some exciting changes. During our Overwatch 2 What's Next panel at BlizzCon 2023, we shared a sneak peek at some of the philosophy guiding many of the system changes coming this year, striving to make PvP gameplay more rewarding and fun and providing greater transparency for players in game. We are introducing major changes to competitive in the new season, from a new progression system to an all-new skill tier above Grandmaster, as well as major gameplay changes to combat and hero survivability. Read for more details on what you can expect for the Overwatch 2 Season 9 champions. All right, starting off here. Updating the competitive experience. We've heard your feedback on competitive play over the last 8 seasons, and we have some big updates coming that will give you the opportunity to build on your skills and see how you progress through competitive ranks. We built a better system that's more accurate while also helping convey the meaning behind the mathematical complexity of a modern matchmaker and bring clear insights about what impacts your rank in every match, or what impacts your rank. Don't worry, and I see that chat said the ads too. It will, I'm sure by the time we get to like the actual like deep dive stuff, we'll be able to see it. All right. Just to go a little bit on this, for ranked in general, something people really like wanted to see more of is like why you're climbing or not climbing. It sounds like they're going to give you a ton of information, more than probably even most games will show you after a ranked game, right? So we'll kind of see how that one goes. But yeah, this is definitely a big deal, I'd say. And we'll see how much better that system is, but it's going to be, it's going to be better than the previous season that we had, or the previous 8 seasons. Seeing how and why your rank changes. One piece of feedback we heard is that just knowing your rank doesn't say anything about why your rank went up or down, which I agree. Competitive updates originally worked to provide updates that reflected your growth as a player across multiple matches. But with the goal to provide greater transparency in each individual match, we're going back to updating your rank after every match and showing how much progress you gain or lose between each skill division. Now, just to talk about that very quickly, the previous rank system, just that whole concept wasn't working because like you had to wait so long sometimes to get your update. It wasn't fun not having an update for like game after game after game. And the idea was, you'll be able to see your growth as a player after multiple matches. But like, how can you see that if you start 4-0, then you finish 5-5, and you're just like, yep, that's 50-50. You know what I mean? So this is way better for that, at least. We're also displaying modifiers that affected your last match below the rank progression bar. Some modifiers help provide transparency in the matchmaking for each match, like getting a boost when you defeat a team that was more favored to win, so you'll know that. While other modifiers show if your rank is calibrated, like going on a huge win streak, proving you belong in a higher rank. So win streak modifiers? Feedback is a driving force behind these changes, and we want to hear your thoughts on a competitive play now that you'll have more context for each game. I've said this since Season 1. The feedback loop has been the issue with ranked to begin with. Matchmaking will have its moments of like being good, being bad, being scuffed, etc. It will. But the feedback loop that ranked should have was not there. It was not good feedback loop. So here's the rank information. It shows the rank promotion progress. The progress bar shows how much your rank increased as a result of a match. Which, by the way, having this info is way better than the current version. Even the initial version in Overwatch 1. The bigger the highlighted section, the more rank was gained or lost. The reasons why more rank might have been gained or lost are explained in the modifiers below. So we have a win streak, bonus for a higher win rate. We have loss streak, penalty for high loss rate. Calibration, showing you a bonus for a high win rate, back and forth. Uphill battle, you weren't favored, but you won. Reversal, you were favored and you lost. Volatile, you lost calibration matches after ranking up. Consolation, you weren't favored and you lost. And expected, you were favored and you won. So this is already, this system, while going back to kind of what you saw with Overwatch 1 updated, this system itself is way deeper in how it shows you everything, right? So, like, this is a much better system, and at this point, they're giving you pretty much every type of information they probably have when it comes to, like, why your stuff goes up and down. So, it's interesting. Obviously, we're going to have to see how it works, etc., but it's good to know this stuff, And I love that we went from absolutely zero information over like anywhere from 5 to 20 games to here's everything, have fun. You know what I mean? Which I, as chat knows, I like the idea of that. I like the idea. You said, why would winning when favored be a negative? I think what that means is that you can have multiple of these at once. Keep in mind I'm wrong, but what it might show is like you won a game, but then it will show that like you didn't climb as much as you normally would, or like your percentage wasn't as high as beforehand because you were favored to win. That's my guess. So like it might show like the green bar, but it also might show why the modifier like doesn't give you as much as it would normally for a previous game. I think that's what that means. Granted, we'll be able to see this on Tuesday, so. All right, bring a fresh start with placement matches and rank resets. With both the changes to competitive play and the broader changes to gameplay starting this season, we feel this is a perfect opportunity for everyone to start fresh as they compete on the ranked leaderboards. To accomplish this, we're reintroducing placement matches and resetting everyone's competitive skill rank. Your journey to the top begins with 10 all-new placement matches, with everyone's rank being reset. These 10 placement matches provide you with a high-stakes opportunity to make big gains in determining your new starting rank. As you progress through placement matches, there will be a predicted starting rank after each match. You'll only have one chance this year to run your placement matches, which sounds like they might do it once a year. So pick your best heroes and stay hydrated because these games count for a lot. And you can see right here, chat, here is the new system here. So you're going to have your placement matches. It's also going to give you a predicted rank. Doesn't mean this will be your overall ranks when you finish, but this is where it predicts you based off of your current one there. So what this does now is you're going to be able to climb. So let's say that you're in gold right now and you're saying, hey, I feel like I've been in plat. I've been hard stuck in gold. This is the moment where like you can really climb through that. Obviously, it's going to be a lot happening, but this is like the first time, and I don't even, has this ever happened in Overwatch? Where you even have like a partial rank reset? I think it's the first time. Maybe outside of like the first seasons of Overwatch 1, like we haven't seen this because there's an MMR that you have, a hidden MMR, and then there's the MMR you see. This is a hidden MMR reset. So this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't remember specifically. Rise up to the rank of champion. So how high can you go? We're introducing the ultimate rank champion. This is the most prestigious tier above Grandmaster, intended to show who is the best among the most skilled players in the game. Even with the boost that placement matches can provide, top-ranking players will still need to win a lot of games to reach Champion 1 and prove they are best of the best, which to me sounds awesome because I think with that being said, we're going to launch the weekly highlight series called Road to Champion, where it's going to be all the fun highlights of all those matches every week. With Cuber working on that one. So I think we're going to introduce the series on the first channel called Road to Champion, because obviously it's going to Road to Champion 1, because it's going to be obviously a grind to get there. So I'm pretty excited about that. This is the most exclusive rank in the history of Overwatch, and we're on the edge of our seats to see who will achieve such heights in Season 9 and beyond. Looking forward to that. I think this will also make Top 500 a bit more competitive because Top 500 will be a lot of champion. So players will want to be grinding more, which should alleviate some of the problem. I still think there's going to be some issues Top 500 will run into, but I think this will alleviate some of that problem and also hopefully help with the queue times. So, new competitive rewards and Jade weapons. Season 9 introduces Jade weapon variants, unlockable with the new 2024 competitive points. I will say, I don't know why they're introducing new competitive points to go with this. I feel like it should have been an option of only Emerald or Gold. That is kind of where I'm at with that one. Obviously, I play a lot, so more than likely I'll be able to get a lot of the Jade weapon variants. But I was kind of in the spot where, like, I would have preferred it if I could just use my current competitive points more than having to get more of them. Maybe they change up how the system is and it's a little bit easier to get them, but, like, I would have liked to at least be able to use the gold weapon one. Yeah, you can still get gold weapons with your previous gold weapon points, right? If I'm correct. But you have a new currency now for Jade weapons. You think it's so Top 500 doesn't unlock all of them at once? So I think I have around 15,000 competitive points right now with how much I play. I think that would get me, like, probably 5 weapons. I would need about another 30 or so. 30, 35, 34. All right. Earning Jade weapon variants will reflect your dedication to competitive play in 2024, not your highest rank achieved. Luckily, These new Jade weapon variants will not be as exclusive as the champion rank. You will progress towards earning competitive points just by playing the game mode, with more progress granted towards wins, which is, I mean, that's kind of how they've had that. Competitive points earned for winning and drawing a match have been rebalanced. Okay, I probably should have read that before going to that talk. Around this new progression system, what should make every match feel rewarding, regardless of the outcome. Unlock a Jade weapon when you earn 3,000 competitive points. So there you go. So I don't know how many points, because it didn't say that right there, but we'll see. Legacy points and golden weapons. Through the end of Season 8, players can still earn competitive points towards unlocking golden weapon variants. When Season 9 starts, your previous competitive points will be converted to legacy competitive points. You'll still be able to use legacy competitive points to unlock the golden weapon variants, but the way you receive legacy competitive points will change. Once the 2024 competitive year closes, any leftover 2024 competitive points will automatically be converted and added to your legacy competitive points, which can be used to unlock gold weapon variants. Which is what I was saying, like, I would have personally preferred to be able to get the competitive points that way, but I mean, I'm probably going to get a good amount of Jade ones just because, like, I play a lot and obviously grind a lot of ranks, so. End of the competitive year, just shows you that. Last chance to claim end of season bonuses. Starting in Season 9, competitive challenges that grant bonus competitive points are also changing. Season 8 will be the latest season to claim end-of-season competitive challenges for Seasons 1 to 7. Log in before the end of Season 8 to grab any rewards from Season 7 or earlier that you haven't claimed yet. Once Season 9 begins, you will be unable to receive past competitive points from completed challenges from Season 7 or earlier. You'll still be able to claim your Season 8 rewards during Season 9, but you must log in to receive that bonus before the end of Season 9. So basically, if you haven't logged in a while, log in now just to make sure you get your previous stuff. Like, say you haven't played since Season 6 and you didn't, like, maybe the challenges. I don't know how that works. Just, it's basically saying log in. You know, this was already a deep blog post, so I did not expect this in today's blog post, but we're going to the core gameplay changes, chat. Introducing changes to core gameplay. Are we ready? Are we ready? Is it time to go into the core gameplay? This will be very interesting. Beyond the competitive rework, Season 9 features major changes to the fundamentals of Overwatch 2 gameplay that affect every hero. We've heard the community feedback around some gameplay pain points and developed changes to the core gameplay with these goals in mind. Purple Banana, thanks for the free response. Thank you. So, deliver a more consistent feel to firing and landing your shots on opponents. Which, I mean, for a lot of ranks, that will be good, right? One of the things about Overwatch is, like, every hero has different hitboxes, so the aiming can be a little bit different. Lessen the impacts of burst damage to allow for greater counterplay. Anytime I hear lessen the impacts of burst damage as a tank, I get excited. As a tank player, I buy into lessen the impacts of burst damage, because that's where I get rolled. Adjust where in-game healing and damage are effective to reduce stagnant team fights. Which is interesting, having both of those. All of these changes have been designed to work in combination to balance each other out. And we're excited for you to get in game and experience them all at once. Oh, wow. We got a lot here. Okay, here we go. Making your shots feel good to hit. One of our main goals with these adjustments is to make firing your weapons and abilities feel more consistent without impacting the time to eliminate a target, and without removing the overall feel of gameplay we all know and love. When examining how burst damage values have changed over time, we found that in most cases, they've gone down in raw value, though that may not necessarily mean they become weaker relative to other changes. The 5v5 environment and new heroes of Overwatch 2 certainly factor into the perspective, but it's often overlooked that the player base's average skill, game knowledge, and pace of gameplay are relatively higher now than when the game first launched. Which this is interesting because players do get better. But at the same time, like, yeah, 5v5 has made it so you get rolled even more so. Come here, buddy. All right, so projectile size changes. Now I'm going to read a bunch of math stuff here, and then we'll try to explain what this means. Because I think that's probably the first step with all of this, is kind of reading what this all means, and then we'll go from there. All right, here we go. Plus 0.05 meters for hit scan projectiles with a high rate of fire or spread. Example, tracers, pulse pistols, or Reaper's Hellfire shotguns. So keep in mind, 0.05 doesn't sound like a lot, but let me give you an example. Remember when Ayari had like the really large projectile on the ultimate and it was like really easy to hit? Right? It's a lot in Overwatch. So that's going to be, for people who want to play Tracer and Reaper, it's going to be a little bit easier to hit those shots because of that. Plus 0.08 meters for hit scan projectiles that are more precise. So Cassidy's weapon, Soldier 76. Once again, that's a pretty big change and is going to allow for players to hit their shots a little bit more. Plus 0.05 meters for travel time projectiles that are shotguns or have a very high rate of fire. So Ramatra now, even the Doritos on Ramatra is going to hit even more now. Roadhog scrap gun, etc. So there's definitely a little bit of a difference on that one. 0.10 meters plus 0.10 meters or 0.1 meters for travel time projectile with a speed greater than 50 meters per second. So Zenyatta's orb, etc. Right? Whew! A lot there. Plus 15 meters for travel time projectiles with a speed less than or equal to 50 meters per second. Farah's rocket launcher. I'm going to summarize all of this for you, chat. Oh, also, very large projectiles with a base size greater than 0.5 meters have been excluded for these increases. Arista's energy javelin, Reinhardt's fire strike. I wouldn't doubt it if they don't change that for Sigma. Basically, you want me to summarize this for you? Shots are going to be easier to hit. There you go. So for a lot of ranks and a lot of players, this will help. As a top 500 player, I don't really know what to expect with that because obviously players are super accurate to begin with. This allows for a little bit more room for error, but also will allow for players to pop off a bit more across the board on any role. So it's going to change how that works for sure. Straight up. From a top 500 point of view, I don't know how it's going to play because like I said, in top 500, there's a lot of accuracy there, but like my point is that we'll see what happens. I don't know yet. I don't know where to go with that. Let's continue reading. When it comes to aiming as a mechanical skill requirement, even players with excellent aim often mention how it can feel random whether a shot hits or not. Sometimes? Due largely into part to the whip speed movement acceleration heroes have when changing directions. Combined with all of the dashing, leaping, teleporting abilities, hitting your target can be very difficult. Now, to talk about this very quickly, Overwatch is a game that, like, you know how some games, like, all of the games will have the same hitbox for most of, like, not the heroes, but, like, they have the same hitbox. So the way that you aim at them and it is a little bit more consistent. Overwatch has different hitboxes, different movement, a bunch of different stuff. So, like, your aim on different heroes is going to change. So what they're saying is that because of all of this, they want to make it a little bit easier to hit those targets because it's difficult. It can be difficult for that. Crisp, responsive movement is important to the core gameplay feel, so we wouldn't want to just slow down player movement. Instead, we're improving hit consistency by making both damage deal and hit scan and travel time projectiles larger. Like I said, a lot of people will probably feel like they're hitting more shots because of this. Heroes that have weapons or abilities that don't benefit from any projectile size changes will receive additional balance changes. However, we don't want to make too many hero adjustments before getting a better understanding of the effects from these initial changes. So tune in for more on individual heroes in future updates, which I actually think not making huge balance changes when it comes to that is good because they need to see how this plays out first, right? Some of these numbers might get tuned down, right? Next thing you know, every single Widow is hitting every single shot, and they're like, wait a second, we got to stop for a second, right? You know, there's things that are going to happen there. Adjusting health pools to balance gameplay. Here we go. Since we're increasing the average accuracy of nearly all heroes and want to keep time to kill similar, we're also increasing everyone's maximum health. We've already balanced damage values, damage boost, critical damage breakpoints, and other factors around 200, 250 HP heroes. So the new health ends up requiring at least one more hit from most heroes to eliminate an enemy. Okay, so basically to summarize this, shots being easier to hit means that heroes need more HP because people will be hitting their shots more, therefore bringing the HP up. That's what they're saying. So, we'll start with this now. 150 to 170 HP heroes increase by 25 HP. For example, that should put Widow at what? Tracer at 175 and Widow at 200 HP as examples. 200 to 300 HP heroes increased by 50 HP. So, that's a lot. And 300 HP heroes, tanks, increased by 75 to 100 HP. So, what's D.Va's HP right now? 700, so it'll be 800 for D.Va, is that correct? Or is it 700 for D.Va? What is D.Va's HP? 600 and then 700? Basically, you just go to every tank and add 100. So that gives you an idea. So 750 now? Yeah. So a lot more HP, but we'll see what else is said here. I'll kind of summarize my thoughts and everything at the end of this, too, so it's a little bit more concise. Given more self-reliance in team fights, we also want to make sure that flow of the team fight doesn't take away from individual player decisions that can determine the outcome of a match. Tanks already have a significant role in each team fight as they often are the ones that take space and determine where each fight takes place. In some ranks, yes. In other ranks, not so much. I can tell you that. Whereas we want to enable more critical decision-making among the damage and support roles. The change to projectile size and health pools effectively reduce the impact of burst damage and tones down the relative strength of healing, meaning it will take longer to heal someone from 1 HP to full health. To ease the friction of an increased time to fully heal allies out of combat and enable support players to make more informed decisions on who to heal, everyone can now regenerate health passively at a rate of 20 healing per second after 5 seconds of not taking damage. And the support role passive heal has been adjusted to 2.5. So first of all, this can kind of go either two ways. All right? You know how it says support players can make the informed decision on who to heal? That also might enable supports to make the informed decision not to heal. Because now they're going to be like, you know what? Just sit behind that wall and get healed, okay? Now, I will be honest with you. And next time you're looking at an Overwatch here, 5 seconds is still a pretty long time. In Overwatch, 5 seconds in the middle of a team fight, and let's be honest, most people just sitting, like, are in the middle of the open, not hiding behind walls. So in theory, this might get you to play a little bit safer with positioning, but more than likely, it will. I think 5 seconds is a long time to be able to proc that passive. Which, on top of that, it would take, what, around 10 seconds if you were at 1 HP on a 200 HP hero to get back to full. And I'm not saying it isn't strong, right? What I'm saying is that it's going to have to shift up some of your gameplay to really take advantage of the 5 seconds. The support passive is really obvious when you see it, right? And now people will also go, hey, what about health packs? The problem they're probably running into, and I don't have this data, is people probably don't take health packs. I see it a lot in the spectating. Like, some people are really good at health packs and going for them. Other people don't even care if there's a health pack. They will stand next to a health pack and get mad at you for not healing them. So, it's tough to say. And I'll continue on with more of this after. But, like, my guess is that they probably have data that shows them that health packs are just used X amount of time. And it's like, they're going to try this. I don't know. But we'll keep going on that one, okay? As an increase to health pools and weakening of burst damage means that heroes live longer and team fights will take longer to conclude. To combat some of the potentially extreme situations there, we're also introducing a new damage passive, empowering them to easily fulfill their role in securing eliminations. Reduce in-combat healing, and potentially add an additional strategic layer to focus fire and targets. All right? So, we have the new all-hero passive. Passively regenerate 20 health per second of not taking damage for 5 seconds. The new damage roll passive, dealing damage reduces the target's healing received by 20%. This one's interesting. Now, in other games, I've seen it be up to 50%, so I'm very, very glad they didn't do it at 50%. I am very, very glad to hear that. Because 50% would have been ridiculous. And in some games that I've played have done that, and it's like, that's no. 20%, what this does is this allows for... It's basically allowing for DPS to get a little bit more value. Because DPS is kind of ran into this thing where, like, supports have become really strong. It also means that if you go for somebody, they're going to get 20% less healing. Now, I see this go two different ways. Does that stack? I imagine they will not stack. If it stacks, that would be ridiculous. It better not stack. I'm just saying that right now. If that stacks, then I might as well just sit there and as a tank. So, I see this two different ways. It's going to be good for securing a limbs, but I wouldn't doubt it if this promotes the idea of also just shooting tanks to guarantee they get 20% less healing and then eventually get rolled. I don't know how this is going to play. This part, I don't know. It basically reduces the healing on anybody by 20%. So if you... What's the healing on Lifeweaver? To give you an idea. Is it 75 or 70? Okay, it's 70, right? It's either 70 or 75. So let's just go with 70 for now. All right? So to give you an idea, if a Lifeweaver is spam healing somebody, it will heal them for 70. Okay? Now if a DPS is on that target that they're trying to heal, it would heal for what? 56 now? So it would be 56 healing instead of 70. So this is something they're trying to solve where they can keep the support numbers where they're at while also reducing the healing in certain situations. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of what they're trying to do with that one. Yeah. I don't know how that one's going to play. It's funny because, like, I look at the new all-hero passive one and I go, listen, 5 seconds is a lot of time. I'll see how that plays. The damage roll passive, I look at that and I go, that could actually be pretty effective. We'll see. And obviously, the support passive is now after 2.5 seconds, which is half the time of the current passive one, right? So supports will have that. At its core, Overwatch 2 is a competitive game, so it's important for the core systems and competitive system to be as intuitive and accessible as possible. In addition to these core changes, we're introducing reworks for Pharah and Junkertown. Oh, please tell me they're fixing sightlines. If they are fixing the Junkertown sightlines, that map is going to go from, like, not one of my favorite maps to, like, a much better map. Sightline issues have become such a problem on Junkertown with snipers. We'll see. Which we'll go into in a later blog. For now, let us know what you think when Overwatch 2 Season 9 Champion launches on February 13th. So, a lot of information here, and obviously, some of this information might be new. Or maybe it's been heard before, right? Obviously. Here is my take on this. Things I like, okay? I like that they're willing to make some changes to the game rather than just kind of staying where they're at, right? Because what generally will happen at a certain point when they're kind of like in this like middle ground is they'll end up just doing the same buffs and nerfs on heroes back and forth, right? They just get caught in this like rotation of like they have, okay, Orisa gets buffed, Orisa gets nerfed, Orisa gets buffed, Sojourn gets nerfed, Sojourn gets buffed, Sojourn gets nerfed. Like, you know what I mean? Like you see the same consistent stuff. So I like the idea that they're making like aggressive changes. From how it will play, that's the thing. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Because on paper, it sounds like it will improve some of the issues, but I don't know because this isn't like a small change, right? This is like a massive change. Like this stuff right here, just to point this out, when you see 0.05, you go, okay, that's nothing. That is a lot, just so you know. Like, that is a lot. That is a huge change that you'll notice in-game that the game might feel better for a lot of players with this. Because, like, imagine going there. Like, imagine you go into game and out of nowhere you start to see your shots hit a bit more. Right? Like, imagine going in there and you start to see your shots hit more. You're going to be like, wow. Okay, this is pretty sweet. Right? That's pretty sweet. At the same time, people are going to be also hitting shots against you more. So will that be pretty sweet? How will that feel? And that's going to be the question. So the idea is that the game should feel better for players when they're shooting at people. But how will it feel when that's happened? If it feels good, then I think it will be a good experience for people. If it feels like, oh, wow, I'm getting rolled even more, then that's the question, right? And it's so hard to do that if we don't have any playtime on it, which we'll see on Tuesday. Does that make sense? The HP buff is because of the shots being hit more. So what will feel, if you're hitting your shots, it will probably feel good, right? When you play a game and you're hitting your shots, you're like, wow, this is great. When you're playing a game and you're missing your shots, you're going, well, that wasn't ideal. I don't know what's going to happen. I am in the spot where I'm excited to see how it plays because it's either going to be amazing or I'm going to be saying I'm a tank a lot, right? That's where I'm at with it.